We measure things all the time. We measure ingredients when baking, time when exercising, and distance when driving. Imagine baking a cake and using liters of flour instead of cups, or setting your alarm for seconds instead of minutes for your morning run. It's easy to see how important using the correct units of measurement can be. In math, measurements help us describe and understand the world around us. They give us a way to quantify size, distance, and other important properties. Without accurate measurements, our bridges might collapse, our clothes wouldn't fit, and our recipes would be total flops. In this chapter, we're going to dive into the world of measurements, learn how to choose the right units, and tackle some real-world problems. Get ready to become a measurement master. Imagine trying to tighten a screw with a hammer. It just wouldn't work. Just like you need the right tool for the job, you need the right unit of measurement for the task at hand. Units are the building blocks of measurement. They give us a standard way to describe size, weight, time, and more. Some common units you might already know are length like inches, feet, centimeters, meters, weight such as ounces, pounds, grams, kilograms, volume like teaspoons, cups, milliliters, liters, and time such as seconds, minutes, hours. Choosing the right unit makes your measurements more accurate and easier to understand. You wouldn't measure the length of your pencil in miles, would you? That's where choosing the appropriate unit comes in handy. Did you know that there are two main systems of measurement used around the world? These systems are integral to our daily lives, influencing everything from the way we measure ingredients in a recipe to how we calculate distances on a road trip. They are the metric system and the imperial system. Each system has its own unique units and methods of measurement, which can sometimes make things a bit confusing if you're not familiar with both. The metric system is a decimal system, meaning it's based on units of 10. This system is widely used around the world and is known for its simplicity and ease of use. This makes conversions between units super easy. Just move the decimal point. For example, converting from meters to centimeters simply involves shifting the decimal point 2 places to the right. The basic unit of length in the metric system is the meter. Other units like kilometers, centimeters, and millimeters are all derived from the meter, making it a very cohesive system. The imperial system, on the other hand, uses units like inches, feet, and miles. This system is primarily used in the United States and a few other countries. Conversions in this system can be a bit trickier since they're not based on tens. For instance, there are 12 inches in a foot and 3 feet in a yard, which can make calculations more complex. Here's a quick comparison. For length, the metric system uses meters while the imperial system uses feet. This difference can be seen in everyday items like rulers and measuring tapes. For mass, the metric system uses grams while the imperial system uses pounds. This is particularly important in fields like cooking and science, where precise measurements are crucial. And for volume, the metric system uses liters while the imperial system uses gallons. Understanding these differences can help you follow recipes accurately and measure liquids correctly. Knowing how to navigate both systems is important, especially if you travel to different countries or work with people who use different measurement systems. Being proficient in both can make you more adaptable and versatile in various situations, whether you're in a classroom, a kitchen, or a business meeting. Sometimes you need to measure something, but don't have a ruler or measuring tape handy. This can happen more often than you think, especially when you're in a hurry or out and about. Imagine you're at a store and need to know if a piece of furniture will fit in your living room, or you're out hiking and want to estimate the distance to your next checkpoint. In these situations, having the skill to estimate lengths can be incredibly useful and save you a lot of time and effort. That's where estimation comes in. It's a handy skill that can be developed with practice and a bit of knowledge. Estimating is like making an educated guess about the size of something. It's not about being exact, but getting close enough to make a decision or solve a problem. To get good at estimating lengths, it helps to have some reference. Referents are objects that you know the approximate size of, and they can serve as a mental measuring tool. Referents are objects that you know the approximate size of. For example, a standard pencil is about 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters long. For example, your thumb is about 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. This can be a quick and easy way to measure smaller objects. Your foot is about 12 inches or 30 centimeters. This is useful for measuring larger distances, like the length of a room or a piece of furniture. And the length of a car is about 15 feet or 4.5 meters. This can help when you're trying to estimate the size of larger spaces or objects. By using these references, you can get a pretty good idea of the size of something without needing a measuring tool. It's all about making connections between what you know and what you're trying to measure. For instance, if you're trying to estimate the width of a room, you can use your own body as a measuring tool. You could count how many steps it takes you to walk across it. Each step can be roughly the length of your foot, giving you a good estimate. Knowing that each step is about the length of your foot, you can multiply the number of steps by the length of your foot to get a rough measurement. You can then estimate the width of the room. With practice, you'll find that your estimates become more accurate, and you'll be able to measure things quickly and efficiently without any tools. Section 5. Linear measurement, length, width, height. Oh my! Linear measurement is all about measuring one-dimensional distances. It's like measuring the length of a straight line. We use linear measurement to describe the size of objects in terms of their length, width, and height. Length is the distance from one end of an object to the other. It's usually the longest dimension of an object. Width is the distance across an object from side to side. It's usually the shorter dimension. Height is how tall something is, measured from its base to its top. Think of a cereal box. It has length, width, and height. Understanding these dimensions helps us visualize and compare the sizes of different objects. Section 6. Perimeter, walking the line around shapes. In this section we will explore the concept of perimeter, which is a fundamental aspect of geometry. Understanding perimeter is essential for solving various real-world problems and for grasping more complex mathematical concepts. Imagine you're walking around the edge of a rectangular park. As you walk, you trace the boundary of the park, covering the entire outer edge. The total distance you walk is the perimeter of the park. This distance is the sum of all the sides of the park's boundary. Perimeter is the total distance around the outside of a two-dimensional shape. It applies to various shapes including rectangles, squares, triangles, and circles. It's like measuring the length of a fence that would enclose the shape. For instance, if you wanted to build a fence around your garden, you would need to know the perimeter to determine how much fencing material to buy. To find the perimeter of a shape, you add up the lengths of all its sides. This method works for any polygon, whether it has 3 sides, 4 sides, or more. Here's how to find the perimeter of a rectangle. A rectangle has 2 pairs of equal sides, so you only need to know the length and the width. Perimeter of a rectangle equals 2 times the sum of the length and width. This formula simplifies the process of calculating the perimeter. For example, if a rectangle has a length of 5 centimeters and a width of 3 centimeters, its perimeter would be perimeter equals 2 times the sum of 5 centimeters and 3 centimeters, which equals 2 times 8 centimeters, giving us 16 centimeters. This straightforward calculation can be applied to any rectangle, regardless of its size. Perimeter is a useful measurement for things like figuring out how much fencing you need to enclose a yard, or how much ribbon you'll need to wrap a present. It helps in planning and ensures you have the right amount of materials for your project. Whether you're working on a small craft or a large construction project, understanding perimeter is key to success. Section 7. Test yourself. Measurement in action. Now that you've learned about units, estimation, and linear measurement, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. Grab a pencil and paper and try these practice problems. Which unit of measurement would be most appropriate for measuring the length of a pencil? Millimeters, centimeters, or meters? Estimate the height of your desk in inches or centimeters, then measure it with a ruler or measuring tape to see how close your estimate was. A rectangular garden has a length of 12 feet and a width of 8 feet. What is the perimeter of the garden? A square has a side length of 5 inches. What is the perimeter of the square? What is the perimeter of this simple irregular shape with the length of each side labeled? Section 8. Keep measuring. You've got this. Congratulations. You've journeyed into the world of measurements and emerged victorious. Remember, choosing the right units, mastering estimation, and understanding linear measurement are essential skills for both math class and everyday life. Don't be afraid to get hands-on with measurement. Use a ruler to measure objects around your home, estimate the distances you walk, and try to visualize the sizes of things you learn about in school. With a little practice, you'll become a measurement master in no time.